I have the feeling that I know I am awareness. I know that. I understand that. I know that I am aware all the time. I know that too. The only thing is that how do you say that? I overlook it all the time, or almost all the time. And I seem to, in this process of being aware, I seem to circle around in circles, sort of not coming deeper to the source. I think maybe because of my ego, but I don't know about that. But sometimes I also have the feeling like I am the north pole of a magnet, and the source in me is also the north pole of the magnet, and we cannot come together. Something like that. I just slide away. I know I am aware all the time. I am the source, but I just not always experience it, or and another thing is that sometimes of course I feel, am I now aware? I feel aware, and then I think, is this it? It gives us some kind of boredom, or it doesn't give peace, or it's. I want to go away, but from it.
Yes, in this case, the boredom is masquerading as peace. It's an object. It's an object of your attention. It's a feeling that you are experiencing.
Say that again, please.
The boredom in this case is masquerading as peace. It's not real peace. It's an object that you are aware of. So it is not your true nature. It is an object that you are aware of. It has, in a very superficial sense, it could be mistaken for the peace of our true nature because it is static and motionless, but it is an inert object, not the transparent peace of our true nature. So if you are aware of the experience of boredom, you ask yourself, what is it that is aware of this experience? And allow that question to take your attention deeper, to allow your attention to sink more deeply into its source.
Yeah. I dare not ask how to, because it's not a question of how to, but I think this maybe has something to do with investigating, like investigating my experience. And there is also something, I don't know how to do that. Investigate. I think you can investigate really well. I cannot do that as well as you do.
No, but the investigation is so simple.
I go out.
The investigation is to investigate what is it that is aware of my experience, which is another way of asking, who am I? I don't use the traditional formula, who am I, because it's a formula that has been applied so many times and has been so misunderstood. And I don't, so it's open to misinterpretation. It takes some explanation. So I have found other questions that I think are effective. For instance, what is it that is aware of my experience? Now, whatever it is that is aware of our experience is what we call I. So the question, what is it that is aware of my experience, is identical to the question, what or who am I? But it's a question that is not really open to misinterpretation. What is it that is aware of my experience?
I can feel that.
Okay,
who am I question
but exactly,
can't answer.
Who am I? I'm not meaning to disparage the question, who am I? It's a perfectly good question, but it takes some explanation. and has been misunderstood by so many commentators, and it's been overused. So this is just another approach, a fresh approach to the same. Ask yourself, well, what is it that knows my experience? In other words, you're not interested in what you are experiencing, whether you're experiencing a toothache, a feeling of boredom, an ecstatic emotion, the taste of tea. That's not what we're interested in at this point. We're interested in what is it that knows that, and what is the nature of that.
And somehow you can. When you ask it, I go there. I experience awareness, because that's always the thing.
What experience is awareness then?
The awareness, experience awareness.
Yeah.
So I can feel awareness. I
Yeah.
know I'm aware all the time. But somehow I cannot stay there.
Well,
So if there is this question, you can ask me this question, and I can be there for.
when you
short
say
time.
I cannot stay there, you mean awareness cannot remain resting in its own being. It rises again as the mind and goes outwards and gets busy with an object. So when it does that, just ask yourself again the question, what is it that is aware of my experience? Or you could ask yourself the question, where are you going? Or any such question that draws the mind again towards its essence. And then you go there again. Awareness rests in itself again. You abide there, self-abidance, self-resting. Then, through force of habit, awareness will rise again in the form of the mind and go outwards towards objects. Well, if your mind is not required by circumstance to be busy with objects, then you can just ask yourself the question and come back again. But don't ask the question mechanically. It's not who am I, who am I, who am I. There are so many questions, and we've explored many of them. There are many ways in which you can attract the mind back to its source. Find a way that is alive and meaningful, not repetitive or mechanical for you. And if you find it difficult to do on your own, then just listen to the tapes, come to a meeting until, borrow these questions, make up your own in time. But don't apply them mechanically.